I'm a university lecturer on strike.
7 months.
7 months. 7 months without any pay. So nobody told us to come here.
And we are mobilizing our students.
We are here. We are.
Informal sector. We are voting right this time around.
Good evening, viewers. This is BVI Channel 1. I'm ASUU Channel Peters. Today on Matters Rising, we shall be looking at student protests that shuts down the Lagos airport. And everything boils down on the lingering ASUU strike. It's over 6 months since Nigerian students had been on strike due to ASUU strike. They have been at home because of ASUU strike. The face-off between the federal government and ASUU had continued to linger, and the students are really getting impatient with all of that. Like the words we used to hear or say, when two elephants fight, the grass suffers it. The grass in this situation are the students who are being deprived of education. Today we're going to find out or look into some of the issues that borders around this ASUU strike. What actually is the main issue? And what are the ASUU union? What is it that they are asking the federal government to do, on which is difficult or impossible for the federal government to do, and the entire matters that follow suit. So as you join me on this interactive section, I'm going to make it quite a brief one, but make the time count. When we open up the phone lines, you can use the number on the screen to call us, 0810-4545-533. If you are outside the shores of the country, you add +234-810-4545-533. Now, I'm going to get a sample opinion of some of the lecturers that I've spoken with and how they feel about that. But before then, let us take a message from Charlie Boy, the Odudu Bariba One of Africa, area father. I'll be right back shortly.
The area father, the president of all frustrated Nigerians, say in get message to all obedient Nigerians. I want you to listen to him. I'll be right back.
I am a very happy area father. Yes, so I happy because I don't see say this season where we enter so. Many of my children, the exceptional youth of Nigeria, have become self-aware and have taken the cries and the advocacy for good governance beyond the walls and the noise of the social media. Yes, when they make me they sing, Hallelujah Chimle, Jehovah Chimimela, Epi Gwaraboria Chimle, Agamachurugi Mama. You see, right now, we are building a structure and legacy that is greater than any revolution ever witnessed in the nation's history. I don't tell on TT. Any positive thing with the exceptional use of Nigeria won't do, I stand there Kitiba with them. I go escort them Kitiba. I I go ginger them like me, like the ginger. Okay, they quite very popular. So I'm inviting everybody to join me and my picking them on Saturday, the 24th of September 2022, 10 a.m. for the most peaceful, the most inspirational rally.
We, the government.
Bagam, that is coming from the Odudu Bariba, one of Africa, the area father himself. He had inspired many from our activities during our Mumudondu, now we be government, and today it has given birth to good governance ministry. And I can tell you, the movement must continue until Nigerians are liberated, until this political revolution we have been preaching will see the light of the day. And I want to inform you that he will be gracing BVI Channel 1 alongside Dr. and Comrade Madmore. He will be joining him on that very program with me on BVI Channel 1 tomorrow, 20th of September 2022.
Welcome back. We are still on Matters Arising. This very information for tomorrow's program is what you can't afford to miss. Tell everyone to be part of this program, because we're going to be looking at what is pulling the obedient movement, the spirit behind obedient movement. And I'll be having Area Father Odudu Bariba, one of Africa, right here in the studio, live with me visually, and another comrade, Dr. Madmore. So you can't afford to miss that program. It will be happening at exactly around this time, between 8 to 9 p.m. Let your voice be heard and don't miss out. Now let us quickly go into the issue, the topic we are discussing tonight, talking about the ASUU strike. And the people at the center of it are the lecturers. Now let's get the opinion as to how they feel about the whole incident. I'll be right back.
I'm a university lecturer on strike.
7 months.
Madam. 7 months.
Madam.
7 months without any pay. So nobody told us to come here.
Go. And we are mobilizing our students.
We are here. We are.
Informal sector. We are voting right this time around.
I got ambushed by a couple of the people that are at the center of discussion today. I hope I'm talking to lecturers. Now them be this. They are being owed salaries.
7.5 months. To be specific, going to 8 months.
Now people papa be this, so they get children where they go carry go school.
Excuse me. Since you can borrow trillions of naira to finance physical infrastructure, why can't you borrow 1.1 trillion to finance education? 1 naira spent in education has multiplier effects in other sectors.
My brother, we are on the street conversation here. Let me now tell you one thing. They will not borrow to invest in education. Do you know why? You know, no, the problem is that they have already taken their children abroad to study. That is it. You can imagine thousands of lecturers who is subjected to this kind of, situation where a man, sometimes couple who are lecturers, have been going for 6.5 months without a pay. What manner of government would we call this? This is the height of insensitivity on the part of government, if you ask me. But let us now go down to those who are feeling the heat. I'm talking about the students who are the direct victims of this prolonged ASUU strike. Now, let us see how it happened in Lagos today. And when I get back, we'll open up the lines and start the conversation. Don't touch that dial. And if you have not subscribed, please hit on that red button. It is free. I'll be right back.
Openly led a protest in this country. Yes. And if anyone in his right senses feel what we are doing is illegal, it is illegal for any government to deliberately keep Nigerian students out of campus, and that has led our female students into prostitution and other social vices. And this, we are saying, enough is enough. According for the immediate end to ASUU Strike now, and that alone we will do.
That is it. That is what was seen in Lagos State today. Many passengers that went through that airport would not finish elaborating the experience they went through today. This problem is now becoming a national crisis, as many people, their lives are on the line. The young generation of students, the lecturers and their dependents, talking about their families and children, the educational system as a whole is under serious threat. And those in government, the political class, the political leadership of this country had remained adamant and insensitive to the plight of the people. While I was speaking with the lecturers, some of you might have seen the video I published earlier where these lecturers, elaborated their experience, and they asked very vital question, one vital question. If federal government can borrow money to put into infrastructure and what have you, as they always put it out, why can't they get money and fund the education? And my answer to that straight on is they are not interested in fixing the educational system in Nigeria. In fact, they have destroyed it completely to the point that they've taken their children abroad to study. Many of these politicians in Nigeria today, while your children are sitting at home, they are studying abroad. And that is one of the biggest crime against your own citizen, while sitting in government. I remember some few days ago where we have a few months ago, not days, where one of the House of Rep member, sponsored a bill to put an end to public servants, especially those in political office, to send their children abroad while in office to study, to stop the political elites, to limit the political elites and appointees sending their children abroad to study. Do you know what happened? Why I published it anyway. You can look out for it on our channel. The lawmakers, the House of Rep members, shut that bill down. The manner at which they did that shows that they don't care about anything that affects the ordinary Nigerians. They are not interested in fixing the educational system. They are not interested in fixing the institutions that serves public interest as it affects the ordinary people especially, because they can afford the very expensive educational fees abroad. They can fund it. Just this year alone, a lot of political office holders, a lot of political elites rolled out their children graduating from different universities abroad, while the children of Nigerian people, the electorate that brought them into power, have been sitting at home because of ASUU strike. And some people might ask, what actually is ASUU demanding? Is it all about their pay, their salary to be increased? Is it all about what exactly are they asking for? So I'll be bringing in a colleague, an ambassador for good governance. I call him Ambassador General, of which he is a senior member of Good Governance Ministry, to analyze this issue this evening. And you can join the conversation by dropping your comments on the comment section, or you just call these numbers you see right here, +234 8104 533. Hello, NDBC. You're welcome on today's interaction as we deliberate along the lines of the most important issue, talking about education, the prolonged ASUU strike. NDBC, let's get your opinion with respect to this issue on ground.
Yeah, good evening, Chinedu, and good evening to our viewers all over the world. You know, the situation in Nigeria is such that every aspect of our lives have been affected. Starting from the household, there is crisis right now going on in various households in Nigeria because of the cost of living. You know, when the cost of living is so high that the household income is not increasing in corresponding order, you know, and already a certain consumption pattern has been established. You could imagine where a parent have sent their children to private school that pays 150,000 naira every term, and the income of the parents, instead of increasing, remain constant at a certain level, you know, while the school fees and food items keep on increasing. You do not expect such parents to overnight withdraw the children from private schools to public school where they may be paying 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira. So this crisis is going in various households in Nigeria. Okay, now you have a situation where university lecturers have been on strike for 7 months, meaning this one is no longer the case of lower income. This one is a case of one not receiving anything at the end of the month for a period of 7 months. It takes miracle for people to survive under this situation, and it's only in Nigeria that such thing could happen. It's only in Nigeria. Elsewhere, such thing is unheard of, that somebody could work or could be on strike, for 1 month, and the issues for going on strike we are not giving immediate attention. Issues for going attention strike at first place should be allowed to remain unattended for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. I mean, it's only in Nigeria that you have such situation. So many things are happening in Nigeria, and we are taking it for granted. It cannot happen elsewhere. So I don't know what to say about this situation. This situation is terrible. This situation is unthinkable. It's unimaginable for people to be at home, for students to be at home at their productive age, at the age that they should be productive, they should be thinking, they should be reading, and they should be thinking how to contribute towards the development of the society. And government is so comfortable staying one place inside AC and speaking grammar. Whatever lecturers are asking for, whatever they are asking for could be discussed. It could be discussed. Government should come forward to meet them at certain point. And ASUU is ready to play card with government, whatever the reason might be, which, of course, anytime the strike is going on, anytime there is strike any place, is money, either funding of education or increment of salaries, But in case of this present strike, the issue is a certain agreement signed with government for over the years. When Buhari came on board, Buhari promised to look into that. ASUU have been showing understanding, even as at last year during COVID. ASUU was on strike last year. It got to a point that ASUU had to call off the strike based on the promise given by federal government that their demand going on strike would be met. But when the strike was called off, nothing was done for almost 8 months. So this time around, the lecturers are insisting that is either federal government plays card or all the lecturers will remain at home. So the situation we have in Nigeria cannot happen elsewhere, because the people, Nigeria is too religious. This is a religious country where Nigerians were always ready to take any bullshit coming from the servants they elected or that selected themselves into public offices. So why is it like that? Why is like that is because the masses are not organized. The masses are inside the churches praying for miracle to happen, while those in government are not taking the people serious. So as long as that is the case, the situation will remain. So Chinedu, that's my submission for now. why I stand by, and perhaps if there is further question you ask her
Yeah,
about,
there
will
are so
handle
many
that.
questions to be asked. And please, from your wealth of experience, do you have knowledge of what actually is it that ASUU is demanding from federal government that seems impossible for federal government to meet? Do you have any idea of that?
See, Chinedu, I cannot speak for ASUU, and I don't
No,
want to
no, I'm
be
not saying
quoted.
you are speaking for ASUU. I'm saying, do you have
I'm
any
saying it,
public
I don't
knowledge
want
of
to be
what the
quoted.
demands
But
are?
what
What is it that
I've
ASUU
made
is asking the
myself
federal
clear,
government? Do you have an
clear
idea?
is a public domain. What ASUU is asking for is a public domain. And I've just said it now. There was an agreement signed with federal government by ASUU, by union, university union, which has not been kept up till now. And it has to be with funding of education system in Nigeria, university education system in university tertiary institutions in Nigeria are underfunded, in terms of their research, because there are certain amount of money that should be provided, is provided by the law, by the budget, that every year certain amount of money must be provided for university education in Nigeria to fund their research, to fund infrastructural development in the universities, for maintenance, and of course for personnel cost. Over the years, lecturers, ASUU members have now not had salary increment for over the years. Meanwhile, inflation has eaten the value of naira, making it impossible for them to meet their financial need. You could imagine where somebody is contributing, somebody is doing so much with his brain, intellectual property, giving in everything he has in service of humanity, or to improve the qualities of lives of the people. You could imagine when such person has financial issues, different needs, financial needs that could not be met. Do you expect such person to concentrate in his research work? And that is why Nigeria as a system is losing so many of their professionals. Every day, by minute, people are jetting out of this country to Canada. We are losing professors, medical doctors, engineers, and what have you, to outside the country. Nobody has asked that question. Why are all these people moving? How many people are coming down to Nigeria to work in those universities? So, like I said, every system is suffering in Nigeria. The university should not be treated in isolation. But it's only that ASUU as a union is the strongest union we have in Nigeria. If you have other strong unions, they will be in strike just like ASUU. Every other person is managing. But because ASUU members are the intellectuals, these are the people you cannot pin down, and this is the people you cannot, you cannot treat like nobody. That is why they are standing up. But not that the situation in Nigeria is not affecting everybody. I must say that everybody is affected.
Of
And
course,
that
of
is
course.
why the people are agitating for change in leadership, because those people leading Nigeria have failed in every ramification. I
I
think that's
think
the position.
I think what you just said, corresponds with what my position had been, especially when I made that video some time ago, about 4 or 5 months ago, or thereabout, about a House of Rep member that came up with a bill to, limit or to stop, a bill that will stop public political office holders from sending their children abroad to study while in office, either appointed or elected. That bill was shut down. That bill was brought down. In fact, the manner at which it was brought down and the resentment shows clearly that this so-called political class do not care about the ordinary people. They do not care about the education. To them, to hell with the education of Nigeria, they can afford to send their children abroad. So that is the fix the whole Nigerians have found themselves in. And the question is, who will bail the cat? And how are we going to turn around the situation? Lamenting, shouting, criticizing, protesting will not change anything. Because I know for God knows how long people have been protesting for one thing or the other in Nigeria, yet things continue to get worse. I think, in my own opinion, the political leadership of this country is the root of every problem we have in this country. Security-wise, economy-wise, educational, health, infrastructure, economy, just name it. The political structure, the political leadership of this country is the worst you can see anywhere in modern society. NBC, do you have a different opinion to that?
Yes, you are right, Chinedu. You are right. You know, the situation we have in this country is that when you put somebody incompetent individual or anybody in position of authority, what you have ended up doing is to give the system, to have an incompetent system, a failed system. You cannot give what you don't have. It's only somebody who has content, who has vision, who has a clear picture of the destination where he's going to. That's the only person that can turn around the system. I want to tell you that the system we have in Nigeria is so bad that the system has continuously and consistently produced so many big men, or so many unproductive big men. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's in all the ministries, it's in the agencies of government, about 620 agencies you have in Nigeria. You know, you have so many big men receiving salaries and doing nothing. Even in the university system, you have so many professors that are earning money and doing nothing, not doing any research. You know, they are writing papers, proposals, and books that cannot add any value in the system. So I'm not holding forth, I'm not holding brief for anybody. Being political class, in fact, Jonathan, is he not a lecturer? He was a lecturer now. Many of them, Yaradua was a lecturer. Many of them were product of university education. All these professors, INEC professors, all these INEC commissioners, NEC, most of them are professors and doctors. You know, when the system fails, every other person will fail. So, but the question is there hope? What should be done? You know, Chinedu, I've always believed in working without any boss. Not even working with boss, but working without boss. I'm a revolutionary mind. I like working with my sense of creativity. Because what works in advanced economy society, you know, cannot work here, work in developing, or do you call it developing or underdeveloped a system that is basically based on copy and paste. Whatever thing you have here, is copied from somebody somewhere. Most times if I go to secondary schools or go to primary schools, I see children, school children being wasted because what they do is just books, books, books. The whole intention is to maximize profit. Somebody will just write anything and sell to the school just to make profit. He doesn't care if the book is adding any value to the child.
Exactly.
The same thing to the university. Anytime you go to Oko, Federal Poly Oko, you see thousands of students moving from, well, one thing that is entering my mind is, this generation is a wasted generation. This is school of polytechnic technology. This is where they should learn how to build apps. This is where they should learn how to build bulbs, build computer, build softwares or develop softwares and what have you, or even those in farming know why our pawpaw, the pawpaw I plant behind my house at a certain stage will start dying. What chemical should be introduced to make it healthy and to get the fruit, get it to fruit on time. These are the research we should be making. We have so many needs in our system, but our education, the content of our course content are not addressing that. So you need revolutionary change from the top, from the Ministry of Education, from AUC, and the funding of education shouldn't be all this spoon feeding like we have here. Students will pay school fees, it will enter into an account, a single account for federal government, said nobody should touch it. Students will pay, and then funding will come from Abuja. Every month Abuja will send the funding. My dear Chinedu, if we go into details, you begin to know that a university like UNN can be self-funding, can generate money through research, can generate money through production, and even compete. Faculty of Engineering can set up a manufacturing or civil engineering company that can compete with MCC or Julius Berger, and students will work there and make money. Do you know, at times when I want to advise some schools on what to do to make money, I've done that in Oko, Federal Poly Oko, their mass communications department, because they have studio there, they have FM there. At a point I started wondering why their FM radio cannot compete with Odenibo FM in Obosi. But the head of the department told me that the kind of license they have is such that they cannot operate commercial. They cannot operate
a wider range of their transmitter.
Yes, something like that. But outside that, they cannot take adverts per se to start making their own revenue. So I cannot understand why university or polytechnic FM station cannot take adverts from companies or from small and medium SME is a corporate organizations to maximize their profit and keep the operations going. Then how do they make their money? You say it's funding from university. So such thing is not sustainable. And I keep on asking, like I said, Faculty of Engineering in Nsukka, why can't they register a civil construction company, to compete with companies outside the university community? They said it's not possible. NUC has not given them approval to do that.
What are the universities doing then? What are they doing then? What then are the universities doing?
See, Chinedu, I'm angry because that is why I don't want to go to certain things. Because I know university we are talking of ranches. I've gone to Anambra State University, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University. You know, if you see the kind of land mass, hectares of land wasting,
unproductive land,
these guys have. Then the question is, this era of cattle ranching, can't a university start cattle ranching and start research on that? Do you know how much a faculty will be making from cattle ranching and meat processing? Meat processing alone can keep a faculty and can employ students, can keep undergraduate students busy during holiday time. They can do part-time work there. I don't know, God has given us everything, but we do not use our brain.
Exactly.
And ASUU or lecturers will keep on complaining that the policies and the laws will not encourage them to do certain things. And again, funding, grant, you know, you have a situation whereby grant will come from NUC to somebody to go to US, to go to UK to do master's degree. Can you imagine that? I have my friends going to UK to do master's degree and they are receiving up to 10 million naira, 15 million naira, and most of them will just go there, have the certificate and come back.
Yeah.
He has not added anything outside that MSc or PhD. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying.
Of course, I understand you perfectly. It's just that the people we have out there, as your political leaders, they don't want to understand. And the people themselves who are the victim of the failures in the system. I just hope that by the message they are getting from this platform, people will start reasoning again. You know, this is not just like that conventional media where you just come up, speak English and go. We are here to open up the eyes of the people. In this conversation, I don't know why things cannot work when we have everything, we have more than. Look at the youths, unproductive youths, in their age, in their prime, oh God.
Then look at them now playing in the university. As you are trying to teach students, you see students making millions of naira from Yahoo. And what are you what do you have? What do you have for them? Some of them will tell you that even this thing you are teaching them is obsolete, that it doesn't add anything.
Of course.
You know, this theory you are teaching them is outdated. Is no longer correct. So the idea in your class just to have their certificate. Then the question is, why do you need that certificate? But the thing is that I just want to have it because I want to go to youth service. I want to just answer graduate.
It's just like a social status.
Most people are doing things because of what others will say, society,
that's social
influence,
status. Just like for
class,
social status.
class.
Yeah. Of course.
Class, Ibongo, you want to be introduced as a graduate. I read mass communication. But after that mass communication, Chinedu, you know, this online platform that we have, there was a time we wanted to hire mass communication students to work for online radio station in US. How many of them came? Were they able to survive the interview? That is, I mean, that there is a crisis in this system. People are blaming the ASUU people are on strike, that students should go back to class, that politicians are the cause. Though I will always say that when will fail and another person is confused. When the head is damaged, every other part of the body will not function. That is the situation with Nigeria. And that is why many people are saying obedient, believing that when P2B goes into power, he will begin to turn around everything. But I have to prepare people's mind that Peter Obi cannot do it alone. If he becomes president tomorrow, he cannot perform miracle. It's
Yeah, of
all of
course.
us. All of us will do it. And if Peter Obi will be able to assemble people like us, people who have the passion, people who are competent, it's not about speaking grammar. It's not about, if it's about speaking grammar, Nigeria would have worked a long time ago. If it's about speaking Queen's English, if it's about analysis, I'm telling you, no country in Africa can match Nigeria. We have the best in everything. But it's about competence, it's about
Character.
capacity. That person that has the capacity, that person that has clear picture of what he wants, that person who can assemble the best brain to begin to solve problems, to address, identify issues and solve it. Here we have many problems. And here again, Nigeria, I can assure Nigerians, I can assure everybody that Nigeria is a virgin market because nothing has been done. Our gas deposits are still lying idle there, nothing. Mineral resources, our land is still virgin, nobody has touched it. We are busy enjoying oil money and doing nothing. You can see many Nigerians are not doing anything. Many Nigerians are just, even people working in the offices are receiving their money without doing anything, without working.
Without working.
That cuts across every department, every agencies, most agencies in Nigeria are unproductive. That is why we are presently at crossroad. We are at crossroad, and our children are entering primary school, from primary school to secondary school,
Yeah.
from secondary school to university, consuming because they are reading how to consume. Just watch the thing. They are reading how to consume. They are reading how to be consumer and uh, customers of foreign goods without thinking of how to produce. Millions of Nigerian students are just thinking how to graduate, be paper tigers. Just graduate with their paper tigers, go to youth service. Nothing is done to provide for them to start producing. Nothing, no policy, no program, no grant, apart from one or two things one or two persons are doing. Somebody like Tunelumelu, every year Tunelumelu Foundation gives out $5,000 to Nigerians. I think 1,000 people or 500 people. You could imagine how many millionaires him alone is making a year to entrepreneurs, people who can use their brain, people who can think outside the box and use that money to start producing and start employing people. So, my dear, there is a need for system change. Is either Nigeria gets it right 2023 or Nigeria goes into different nations, maybe 12 nations from Nigeria like former Soviet Union. That is the way it will go. Because of course, so the Ijaw people say they will be on their own. The Igbo people say they will be on their own. The Yoruba people will get middle belt. In the north, we have up to 20 ethnic groups there.
Yeah.
So if we don't get it right 2023, I can assure you that Nigeria cannot survive.
I agree with you 100%. Honestly speaking, with the way things are going, there is no hope. There is no hope. There is no hope if the right thing is not done as soon as possible. Nigeria is just heading for a crash, honestly speaking. But I like what is happening now. It seems divine. It seems quite very, very spiritual, because no one will believe that spontaneously Nigerian people are uniting under one common objective, under one banner, to retire the politicians, who have made their lives miserable. That's what is fueling the obedient movement everywhere. Nigerian people from the east, north, west, and south are now being united by suffering, because ASUU Strike, it is affecting the north, it is affecting the south, it is affecting the east, it is affecting the north, the west. The same is applicable to securities. The same is applicable to economy. The same is applicable to everything in Nigeria. So nobody is exempted. So this issue of tribalism, religion, and those nonsense have cleared from the eyes of ordinary Nigerians. Because that is exactly the tool, the propaganda, the lie, the dark smoke the politicians are using to confuse the people and use them to go into power and continue their mess. Honestly speaking, I can't fathom how these men walk out of this country with their heads high in other countries, seeing what is happening there, seeing their colleagues making impact. These are people that you will consider people that went to school. Some of them even studied abroad. Some of them even lived abroad. But give them a chance to serve public interest. Ooh. I think a whole lot of responsibility should be shouldered by the people. Because a people can only produce government after their like. That's the way you are, your attitude will be reflected on the leadership you produce. I understand the situation of the people that have been beaten, battered, the soul of the society destroyed, every man to himself, struggling. It's just like an animal kingdom. In fact, animal kingdom is even more organized. Because when I hear people call Nigeria zoo and all that, how I wish Nigeria is zoo. We will live a better life in this country. Nigeria is worse than a jungle. And you know the rules of the jungle. Eat or get eaten. The worst part of it is that those you think they are the ones to protect you are the ones eating you up. Using Nigerian people like a poultry. Just give them one piece of meal and kill them the next minute. That is exactly what Nigerian people are passing through in the hands of their government. Today, the students are out there protesting. Many of them, their life expectancy have been cut short. They are looking forward to start making impacts and start competing with their mates across the world. Many of them would have been graduates, and many of them that are even graduates like NDBC highlighted. At the end of the day, you come out with nothing, with just ordinary paper. You cannot solve any single problem. Not one. Not one problem. And here you have problem abound. It's not that we don't have intelligent people. And that is exactly what is at the center of this strike between ASUU and the federal government. Fund the universities. Fund their research centers. Build infrastructure for their experiments, their research work, their laboratory, their production line. Engage the universities to be productive. And I can tell you, the universities can run a viable economy, can boost the economic life of Nigerian people, beginning with the students within the walls of the university and tertiary institutions. The polytechnics is just a glorified blocks of classrooms, producing nothing. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but we'll keep speaking until the people will start listening. NDBC, I thank you for joining me on this very insightful section. I don't intend it to be this long, but it became very important for us to highlight this issue. Think about the children. Think about the future of the younger generation. Think. If you care, it is time for us to make a change. And for me, it all boils down on political leadership. NDBC, the summary you are going to give us so that we wrap up, because we've exhausted.
Yes,
my time.
Thank you, my dear brother. I want to encourage you. Please don't give up. Don't give up. because in this part of the world, if you speak the truth, you stand alone. If you are not politically correct, you stand alone.
Exactly.
And only those who are passionate towards solving a societal,
Problems.
identify societal need or problems, can bring about change. I want to say that Nigerians or Ndi Igbo or Biafrans or Oduduwa or Arewa, because I like to refer them with their indigenous identity, whether anybody likes it or not, it's very important that we educate these people to know the right way to go. Education is key. Tell the people the right way to do things. These days of obedient movements, everybody is asking obedient, obedient. Chinedu, I pray one of these days you stand by to ask this question. Those people shouting obedient, obedient, ask them, what is wrong with Nigeria? What do you want Obi to do for you or for Nigerians or for Ndi Igbo when he becomes president? Ask that question across board. Those in university, those educated people, illiterate, you will be amazed that many people don't know what to do to get Nigeria back on track. What people just need is that they want Obi to go in there and perform miracle. If you don't know the problem, how do you think you will solve it?
Exactly.
Or if you believe that Obi himself alone will know all the problem, it's a lie. Obi is just a face. A face. If you allow him to go there, he will get confused. Even though he's saying from consumption to production, but he might not know how to do it because he read philosophy in Nsukka. He's a businessman, but he may not know how to operate refineries. He may not know how to get it working. Or if you allow him, he may hand it over to a private Ndubisi and group of company to start running, thereby taking us back. There is a public good. You have to educate people to know that government should manage, own some exclusive public good. There are some public good that government must manage, like water was. There should be public water system run everywhere. It's not rocket science to have water. This issue of allowing people to dig their borehole, every household, everybody is digging their own household. What is government doing? You should also educate people that government should build affordable houses for people. Now, state governors are not seeing it as their responsibilities because they have allowed capitalist businessmen to be exploiting the poor tenants, and the government is just inside their government houses sleeping and enjoying themselves and moving around the road with 20 police escorts. Government should know their responsibility, and the education must continue. They must continue. They must be taught how things are done in other parts of the world.
All right.
The poor masses, I mean, they are the masters that elected people to be in government. Chinedu, let me rest for now.
Thank you very much. You've done
And greetings
justice.
to everybody and to all our followers.
Thank you very much.
We'll continue talking.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being part of this program tonight. And those of you who are watching, I cannot end this program without bringing your opinion to the hearing of the world. I acknowledge your coming in here, your time. Financial Freedom Group, we thank you for your compliments and your message here. Thank you very much for sharing our message and our videos. Thank you so much. We also have Holy Benji, we thank you for coming on board. God bless you too. We also have Oba Chuku, say Nigeria government has expired in 2014. Referendum in Nigeria 2022. Yes, everyone talks about referendum, everyone believes in referendum, but not everybody knows how to go about achieving referendum. And that is part of the message we are dropping on this platform, which is important. You always listen, support our activity, support our efforts, so that together we can make our homeland a better place. Okay, thank you, Obachuku, for joining us and for that comment. Mwade Emmanuel, he said, the hater of Western education is the Minister for Education in Nigeria. What do you expect? That's an irony, very big one. We also have Mwade continued in the comments, said the Labour Minister is a medical doctor. What do you expect? That is a Chris Ngige. Well, Labour Minister being a medical doctor, he will take Nigeria to labor room. Thank you, Mwade. We have Lady Jane Anams, very wonderful sister. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. I also encourage people to look out for her. She's a wonderful lady, doing wonderfully well in educating our people and bringing you information. One thing I like about her, she looks out for authentic news. Sometimes she will even inbox me or ask, how true is this? These are the kind of people that looks out to give the audience good contents, verifiable ones. Thank you, Lady Jane, for being part of today's program through your comment section. People can look out for her YouTube channel as well to follow her up. We have Austin Binta. We got your comment, although your comment is irrelevant, but we acknowledge you coming to this platform. You know, this platform, we bring in everybody, both the ones that are sane and the ones that are not sane. Okay? We have a caller. I didn't hope to have a caller today because today is quite straightforward. But let's first take this caller from Cameroon.
Good evening.
Your name, please.
I'm calling from Cameroon. I'm watching your program right now.
Your name?
My name is Chinedu. Can I call from WhatsApp?
No, speak, because the program is already up. Just give us your submission with respect to what we are discussing tonight.
Okay, I want to follow it up. I want to follow the program up.
Okay, you can continue watching the program later if you don't have anything to submit. But thank you for joining.
When are you continue with the program again?
Tomorrow we are going to be live. In fact, it is important I say this, and I'm going to also play it out. Tomorrow we'll be having a very loaded program, political discourse, with Charlie Boy and Madmore. So we are bringing
what time? What time?
From the hours of 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Around this time, we will be live. And you can ask any question you want to ask and make your contribution from anywhere.
9 in the morning or 9 in the morning?
No, in the evening like this.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That is where I'll be wrapping it up tonight. Let me quickly bring you that message from Charlie Boy.
The area father, the president of all frustrated Nigerians, say in get message to all obedient Nigerians. I want you to listen to him. I'll be right back.
I am a very happy area father. Yes, so I happy because I don't see say this season where we enter so. Many of my children, the exceptional youth of Nigeria, have become self-aware and have taken the cries and the advocacy for good governance beyond the walls and the noise of the social media. Yes, when they make me they sing Hallelujah, Chimle, Jehovah Chimimela, Epi Guaramoria Chimle, Agamachurugi Mama. You see, right now, we are building a structure and legacy that is greater than any revolution ever witnessed in the nation's history. I don't tell on a TT. Any positive thing with the exceptional use of Nigeria won't do, I stand there Kitiba with them. I go escort them Kitiba. I go ginger them like Tilekeme. Like Terry Ginger. Okay, they quite very populous. So I'm inviting everybody to join me and my picking them on Saturday, the 24th of September 2022, 10 a.m. for the most peaceful, the most inspirational rally.
We, the problem.
Bagam, that is coming from the Odudu Bariba, one of Africa, the area father himself. He had inspired many from our activities during our Mumu Don't Do, Now We Be Government, and today it has given birth to Good Governance Ministry. And I can tell you, the movement must continue until Nigerians are liberated, until this political revolution we have been preaching will see the light of the day. And I want to inform you that he will be gracing BVI Channel 1 alongside Dr. and Comrade Madmore. He will be joining him on that very program with me on BVI Channel 1 tomorrow, 20th of September 2022.
That is it. Don't miss that program coming up tomorrow by between 7 to 9 o'clock p.m. Make out time to be here. We'll be live. Let your voice be heard. Let us be part of this revolution that is in the making. This might be the last shot Nigerians have to liberate themselves. It doesn't matter if you are, some people will say, oh, we want freedom, let Nigeria collapse now. Is that not what we want? No, that is not what we want. We wouldn't want Nigeria to collapse on our head. We rather, peacefully negotiate this country and everybody walks out of it. Because we wouldn't want to reduce our homeland to a dust or to promote any form of lawlessness or anarchy. That has been my stand, and I hope our people will understand this. That is where I'm drawing the curtain. Thank you for watching Matters Arising tonight, and I hope to have you tomorrow on this very program I'll be having with Charlie Boy, Madmore, and myself as we take on political review. Stay safe, my people, at all time, and stay blessed. Good night.